name is Rosie, and my parents are originally from a little island in the Pacific called Tonga. That's actually where I was born. My story with fitness really started 8 years ago. And 8 years ago, I went through something pretty tragic. We lost our oldest daughter. She was 2 weeks shy of turning 8. And so at that time, I was 250 pounds, a stay-at-home mom, kind of started a career in real estate, but really didn't go anywhere with that. And just was unhealthy. I didn't put myself on the list. It was always about the kids and doing the mommy thing, and, lost our daughter. And when I lost her, I needed something. And I didn't know what it was. Like I had my faith and I had my family, but I needed just a little bit more, and that's where fitness showed up into my life. I found Zumba, which was like it, and continues to be my first love.
Yeah.
This all came to play back in November, around the same time my dad was diagnosed with cancer, and my sister, who is a licensed massage therapist, wanted to walk away from her corporate job and do something for herself. And so her and I partnered up, and we kind of started the Lion's Den together.
Okay.
She wanted something, and we were going through names, and we really wanted something that that represented our family and what the lion meant, strong and just fierce, but in a loving way and a purposeful way. And really is a place of comfort and knowing that you're not being judged in that space, like we had talked about earlier. So I think our core values really stay true to that. So we have a great team that I get to work with, and it truly is my family. A typical day usually would be me waking up, if I can, between 4:30 and 5. So my trainer will tell you that I'm always late. But I get there before 6 a.m. and I'll train, get my time in. And then when I get home, usually the kids are still in bed. And it's been like this for the summer, but it'll change like in the school year. I'll get home, they're still in bed. I'll get my devotional time. I'll sit down and have my coffee and really just have my quiet time. So by the time they're up, we're ready to rock and roll. We're ready to like go through all the to-dos for the morning before we head out and back to the gym. So we're doing gym life a lot.
Yeah.
Running business out of here. I may be on some conference calls, doing one-on-one video calls with my coaching clients. And so, we run the course.
Yeah.
I work in my business and on my business on the daily. We just love people. It has always been, I was raised in a big Polynesian family. And so if you know anything about the Polynesian people, they just love big. Our island in Tonga, it's seriously called the Friendly Islands. And it truly is. We really are we're just a people family, and then add faith to that. It's just bigger than life, So we love very, very big. And my parents have paved the way for me in that respect. And I think I follow a lot of like how they raised me, and just loving on people. I remember days where I would wake up when I was younger and there would be like a homeless woman sleeping in my bed next to me because my parents needed to house them, So they've just had an open door policy for as long as I can remember. So I grew up like that. And so for me, it comes natural because I don't know anything else. Like that's just the way I was raised. And so I've been able to develop that type of relationship with people. And it is a people business. What I do, is a people business. And if you're in the industry and you don't enjoy people, you're gonna have a tough time in your business. So for me, it's natural, and it's no wonder God's allowed that to flourish because it's a ministry for me. It's not about anything else but being able to have relationship with my clients and have relationship with the people that are placed in front of me.
Right.
And that's why I know it'll flourish. It plays a huge role. It's probably the role, you know. You know, I say my role as a mom, as a wife, as the business owner, but I know that my faith is on top of it all, you know. I mean, I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have that.
Right.
And I look at other moms who may have had loss in their life, whether that may be a loss of a child or a loss of a marriage or a loss of whatever that might look like.
Right.
You know, I don't know how they could do life without that peace.
Yeah.
It is, I think, you know, for me, I've had to look at the bigger picture of it all. You know, God gives us things in such small pieces and in pieces that we can digest, you know, slowly. And I think I've had to really just look at the bigger picture of it all. And I know I say it, and I know that, you know, it's hard. We say it all the time, but it's easier said than done. But I've really developed this, again, it goes back to like having peace and really just being on my knees on the daily and saying, Lord, take me through this one day at a time and one foot in front of the other.
Right.
And I go back to that bigger picture because, you know, at the end of the day, this isn't it, you know. I mean, what you see, you know, what I do in my business, all of it's for building the kingdom. And that's where I feel like that's where my calling is. You know, I get to be out in the marketplace to do what I love, but really it's for the kingdom and being able to share my faith and be a testimony and be a light out there in the world.
Right.
You know? You know, Alicia was my firstborn. And a lot of times as a first-time mom, you're going through like every book on the shelf on how to be the perfect mom, how to nurse that child, how to keep that baby alive, how to even through the pregnancy piece, you're taking every single step to make sure that that baby comes out just the way it's meant to. And really, I learned very early on having her and going into motherhood with her that life was not perfect. And so when we had her, and she was fine until about the age of 2, where we started seeing some developmental delays with her. And she developed seizures at the age of 2. Her first one lasted about 45 minutes. So we had a lot of difficulties with her. You know, we never really got a full diagnosis, but we were given hypotonic cerebral palsy, which is just, you know, low tone in the muscles. So she drooled a lot. I mean, she still wore diapers until she passed away. I mean, just developmentally delayed. They also gave her mental retardation, which we, back then, was like, oh my gosh, like my child's not perfect. But she brought us so much joy. And it's just so strange that that those two things could come together, you know, and you could be sort of saddened by the loss of a normal child that you pictured in your mind to have this normal child, yet there were things that the world saw that could have been wrong with her, but she was just perfect for us.
Yeah.
And so I learned a lot through her. I grew a lot as a person and a mother through her. And then came Alana, who was my spunky one, and I learned just to have fun with her. She made life fun. She made life dependable. I learned loyalty through her because she was so loyal to helping me care for her older sister, you know. And so, you know, she's an amazing sister. She was an amazing second child. You know, she just came right in and just loved her older sister. And then Caleb, you couldn't even tell he was there. I mean, like, it was just like, he's like the third child, you know, because then we have Alicia, Alana, And then he just came into the craziness of the mix, and he kind of fended for himself for a little bit. And he also had some speech delays, and he didn't really say much until after he turned 2. But it's crazy because when we lost Alicia, then he really flourished into his body, into his spirit kind of woke up.
Wow.
And so I mean, there's so many dynamics to being a mommy to those 3, but I will tell you, like, I've learned so much. I've grown so much through being their mom.
Yes.
And they teach me, I mean, my 2 kids now, there was a season where they were teaching me to come out of my hole again, because they had seen me, and I had lost their older sister, and so they helped me. They were my helpers.
Wow.
For a little bit. So, I mean, as much as we moms want to be, and people see that I may have had the strength to kind of pull myself out of this depression that I may have been after losing her, my kids, they were sent to me for a reason, and they were my helpers. I was asked before, somebody had asked me, during all this and after the loss of Alicia, like, what friend or what person could I name, or who could I have counted on to be like my solid rock, And I didn't even blink when this person asked me, and I said my husband. Because he, next to me, he is the only one that knows. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the only one that would know that depth, and he would know, like, and go into, like, the crevice of that dark place in my heart, and be on the same page.
Right.
And know that,
Right.
Yeah. So he was the one.
Wow.
And I don't think I would have, there's no one that comes next to that.
Yeah.
And it would have to be him.
Yeah.
We're coming up to 17 years of marriage this August, and it's just, I'm not saying that it's been perfect.
Yeah.
And I think people have this, like, misconception that maybe it's been perfect all these 17 years, because we're still together after losing a child, and then, my dad recently passed away 3 months ago, and it's not perfect, I'm sorry to tell you, but it does take work.
Yeah.
And it does take me putting my pride aside, same as him. And it's not a 50-50, it's 110 on both sides. Right. It really is. Yeah. And, constantly forgiving. Yeah. And constantly reminding ourselves that, we are, and we're ever evolving, we're ever changing, and being sure that we're intentional about our time together. I don't think I get it just for myself. That has to come from a different place. Yeah. That has to come from a source that is probably unseen a lot of times, right? I mean, for me, like, I believe it's from somewhere else, and I have to open myself to that. My friend told me the other day, she's like, or she says all the time, she's like, well, you've got angel feet, you just keep going. And I'm like, I have to open myself up to that other source, because I can't do it on my own. Right? Yeah. So I think that does come from another place. Yeah. But it also comes from a place of just trying to stay the course. Yeah. If I can just stay the course this one day, we get to wake up again the next day and get challenged in new ways and keep pushing forward. I would have to say it isn't about us. It really isn't about us. And I know that moms are, like, probably the most sacrificial human beings on the face of the earth. They birthed us. They really, truly did. I mean, and they gave life to us. But I also want to say, moms, don't put that unrealistic expectation on yourself. Because at the end of the day, no one cares. You know, no one cares if you've got breast milk all over your shirt and you're walking into Fry's trying to like get some, you know, necessities for the day.
Yes.
No one cares, you know? I mean, really, and then just being in those moments with your kids, because it goes by like that. You know, I can't even bring back those days anymore for my two, you know? So take each moment and who cares? That's what and I know it's not like super like outstanding wisdom, but I would just have to say, who cares, you know? And if things need to not get done that day, that's okay. You know, don't put those expectations on yourself as a mom, as a wife, as a business owner. There's more to do the next day.